The truth is, America is about to face the people it tried to break. Whether we like it or not, it's happening right now. America, listen carefully. There's a shift happening in this nation, and it has nothing to do with elections, presidents, or politics. The people you try to break, the people you tried to silence, the people you tried to erase are standing up. Black America, your rise is not accidental, it's prophetic. For 400 years, America invested in one thing: breaking the spirit of black people. They tried to destroy your families, they tried to steal your names, they tried to rewrite your story, they tried to make you ashamed of the very skin God gave you. But what they didn't understand is this: you cannot break a people who were built for survival. You cannot silence a people who were born with a calling. You cannot erase a people who carry the blueprints of the nation. America is starting to feel uncomfortable for not because black Americans are doing anything wrong, but because black Americans are waking up. And when the wounded people wake up, they become unstoppable. Look around you. Black Americans are reclaiming their identity. Black Americans are demanding justice. Black Americans are exposing every lie told about them. Black Americans are rising in culture, business, media, and global influence. And now America has to face the truth. You cannot mistreat builders and expect the house to stand. Anyways, let's watch these videos. I'll be back with a closing.
One day, your grandchildren are going to ask you, what did you do when America was losing its democracy and was slipping into tyranny? Will you say, I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't know that it started with masked men without identification, pepper spraying priests, and throwing mothers into unmarked cars to be disappeared? Will you say that you believed it when the government said they had to send the military into cities because they were hellholes run by left-wing terrorists, when actually these cities were safe and peaceful? Will you say you didn't know what to believe when it was actually easy to figure out that the lies coming from the top of the administration were obvious to anyone who paid attention? Will you say that it didn't matter who was in charge because they were all the same, when we were able to have a functioning democracy for 250 years, and then for the first time, it was genuinely threatened? Will you say you were too busy with your own life and it wasn't affecting you anyway until you saw your costs skyrocket and realized that billionaires were doing great, but you weren't? Will you say that you didn't know about the protest march that was happening all over the country on October 18th, 2025? Will you say that you knew about the march but believed it when you were told that it was just going to be radical terrorist agitators, when actually it was going to be millions of people just like you and me? Or will you say, I did everything I could, including going to the No Kings March this Saturday, October 18th? All you have to do is Google No Kings March and find out where one is happening near you. And if 3.5% of Americans protest, things will change. We'll save democracy. Numbers matter. You showing up matters. And if you show up, you'll have a good answer for your grandchildren when they ask, what did you do to prevent tyranny from taking over America?
America is going to collapse, and it might not be today, but we definitely don't have 50 more years. It doesn't matter if Trump leaves office today. It doesn't matter what politician gets into office, because you can't put a band-aid on what was built broken. Putting a different politician in office is only delaying the inevitable. There are foundational flaws built with inside the system. And no one wants to admit it, but most of it has to do with institutional racism and slavery. We built our entire economy off of free and cheap labor. How long did they think that that was going to last? I mean, realistically, we have another 10 years max. If it wasn't for the pandemic, this could have went on maybe another 50 years. But because the pandemic put a strain on such an already flawed economy, it has put us back at least 20 years. It has taken 20 plus years off the American life system. It no longer can live. I mean, literally, there's nothing that can be saved. Nothing. Agriculture is going to die. I mean, look at what's happening with Nevada. The reason that Nevada's economy is going bankrupt is because it literally operated off of cheap Hispanic labor. Without cheap labor, they literally cannot have an economy. They cannot afford to pay white people to work because they know white people are going to demand a livable wage. Y'all can say whatever, but the entire system runs on defrauding people. I mean, just think about the prison industrial system. Another form of cheap slave labor. It's the reason why black people get arrested and convicted at higher rates than white people, because they need a class of people to abuse in order to keep the economy going. Our economy is systematically flawed. We are screwed no matter how many band-aids we put on it. There is no way that the economy won't eventually fail. So who cares if Trump is moving it forward? Because the slow burn is going to be a lot rougher than the immediate drop.
All these rural towns in America are protesting right now. They're very pissed off because their Medicare is being cut off. They can't get health insurance. The Trump administration has cut millions of dollars from their shit. And I'm trying to feel sorry for y'all. But this is what the fuck you voted for, though. And you can get mad at my video. I don't really give a fuck. Because you being mad at me don't even make any sense. You did this shit to yourself. Some of you minorities, you wanted to be so white adjacent you thought you was in. Nope! You Latinos, you thought you was in. Nope! I can't believe he tricos. And white folks, especially poor whites, of course, the whites are the majority. And there's way more poor white people than there are black people or anybody else. All you poor whites are suffering like a mother because you thought you was in. As long as I'm not a black person, I know I'm good. Like Paul Mooney said, you have the complexion for the gut protection. No, you don't have any protection because you thought you was in. You thought black folks weren't going to get Latin people were going to get and you guys were just going to be in. In fact, I'm a Trump supporter now because I'm laughing at the fact that he turned his back on your ass. He said he was going to do that. Now you in the camera like, I didn't know. My friends, they're all going to die, man. I didn't know they're going to cut Medicare. I just didn't know. I can't believe it. He tricos. I vote for him. He tricos. What? Wait, what? They're taking this too, my oxygen? Oh, here. Another thing I want to add to this. All whites are not the same. I just want to let you know that. You know how I know all whites aren't the same? Because I used to watch Bob Ross. You know, the famous painter with the afro. He had a better afro than most black people. On his easel, in his paints, he had different levels of white. He's like, I got eggshell white. I got off-white. I got alabaster. And I got titanium. That's right. Titanium is the whitest of the white. That's the Trump administration. Those are the elites. All of you guys that are in those rural towns, the blue-collar workers, and all you like work hard and bust your ass. You're whites. You're off-white. You're the lowest of the whites. Oh, please. Whites have been hating whites for a long time. It's called medieval times. You remember Game of Thrones? That was an example of white people not liking white people. And LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, in the 60s, they asked him, how do you get poor white people to still vote for you? Well, I just tell the lowest white man that he's better than the highest colored man. And at the same time I'm telling him that, I'm picking his pocket. Yo, now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
At this point, there is nothing that anyone can say to convince me that this administration is America first. I'm sorry, I voted for Trump, but when he said, are we still asking about Epstein, that's when a lot of people woke up. Why do you think Miriam Adelson, the same woman who couldn't say whether she loves Israel or America more, who gave $200 million to Trump's campaign, is now spending $20 million to beat Thomas Massie, who's one of the only members of Congress who doesn't take AIPAC money? And then there's Trump's 50-year mortgage plan, because lifelong debt and interest is definitely what we voted for. You know who was asking about the Epstein files? Charlie Kirk before he was taken out. Now they're telling us to stop asking questions because it all leads to the same place. You didn't vote for more wars overseas. You didn't vote for 90% of Congress to be owned by AIPAC. We voted for Americans to be prioritized in America. And now that people are waking up, especially the youth, here's the new rule. We're not voting for anybody taking money from AIPAC. Because the moment you take their money, you don't work for us anymore. You work for them. America is done being sold off to the highest bidder.
No, I want an answer to that. because that's your slogan, make America great again. When was America great for you?
Okay. That is, our American great is our freedom.
Freedom. Your freedom? Or all of our freedom?
Everybody's freedom.
Everybody's freedom. So
yes.
when was America great for all of us?
When our forefathers.
Forefathers. The ones that own people?
No.
Which ones?
You have to look at the history. You got to look at the history.
I am. I'm asking you. Which for? George Washington owned 300 people and went after a few of them for running away. They signed a constitution that made black people, enslaved black people, 3/5 of a human being. I don't think it was great then. If you're asking me, a black woman.
Right, but you have to understand.
What?
Our history to get where we are today. What's happening is our media.
No, Jackie, because again, if you can't walk me through the greatness of America and how you want to restore it to a place where it was great before, your whole argument falls apart. So walk me through when America was great.
Okay, so America has been great forever. Now the problem is the people.
For who though? No, I can't wait, because you need to answer the question. And again, you call up, and I'm glad, Mississippi. I love the state. You're a Trump supporter, which I want to get into the reasons behind that. But it's all around this freedom thing and this greatness thing, and we need to settle on what that looks like for you. And for me, and then for all of us, because if it's not going to be great for all of us, then it's not great for any of us, Jackie.
Well, my question is, why don't you think it's great? Because I've grown up, and
Okay, no. You answer my question first, please.
Okay, so you're asking me when it was great. It's been great. It has been great.
It has been great. So slavery was great. Trail of Tears was great. The Chinese Exclusion Act, great. The Japanese internment, great. That was great. Jim Crow was great. Back of the bus, colors only water fountains. Let me see. Brown versus Board of Ed. Oh, the throwing of tomatoes at little girls. The bombing of a church with little girls in it. That was great. The hanging of hundreds and thousands of black people, burning down towns in the 1920s. The draft riots in New York because of people having to fight for freedom. Freedom is liberty is everything, right? Liberty is everything. That was a great America to you?
Okay.
Okay, you can't just say, okay, was it great or not?
It's people that make it bad.
People make it bad. Yes, racist people, horrible people, genocidal people make it bad. You're absolutely right.
It's all about people. People that...
Why, oh why do poor white people vote against themselves time and time again? They vote for Trump and the other MAGA politicians only to have every promise broken, prices go up, social supports evaporate. Here's why. First, remember what I talked about recently, the psychological wage of whiteness. That term was coined by W.E. Du Bois to describe poor white folks being paid with social status rather than decent living conditions. They're convinced by the elites that they're better than black folks, better than immigrants, Latinos, LGBTQ folks. They're convinced that being white puts them in the same league as the elites. Of course, the elites know otherwise, but the poor whites buy it because they're grasping at straws. Second, they are convinced that the people they're supposedly better than are the big threat in their lives. Not the rich, not the corporations or the politicians, but immigrants, black folks, welfare queens, LGBTQ, criminals, the usual scapegoats. Third, the elites promise protection to poor white folks. A politician comes along and says, I'll keep those people in their place, or I'll kick them out, or I'll lock them up. Or, more politely, I'll defend your values. They don't say, I'll make your life better. Well, they say it, they just don't mean it. They'll say, I'll make sure they don't get ahead of you. Fourth, they vote for the punishment, not the policy. When a law gets passed that slashes public housing or school funding or food aid, they think, good, that'll stop those lazy freeloaders. And they do some mental gymnastics that make them believe it's worth losing those things for their own families in order to see those problematic black people and immigrants and so forth being punished. It gets to a point where just seeing those guys being punished is reward enough, which is pretty sick, but that's how behavior works. Their housing, schools, and groceries are on the chopping block too, but they blame that on Biden. Always a scapegoat. They get hit by the same policies they were told would punish the others, and they blame the wrong people. The system fails them, but they've been trained to blame the scapegoats, not the cause, which is the rich people, the people they voted for. So they think the problem is still those people, not the fact that they were personally manipulated by the people they voted for. They're basically saying, I'll take the hit as long as you don't help them, or worse, as long as you hurt them. That is the psychological wage Du Bois was talking about, the trade-off between material security for racial status. And that's a crying shame, folks. One share, like, save, and comment shows that you care about white people taking responsibility for racism in America. This work is important to me, and I want to keep doing it. If you want to support me, consider a donation of any size to coffee.com/Kelly Snyder. And yeah, spelling is important. Get curious.
Instead of getting rage baited, I think it's important for all of us to understand what's really going on in America. Please let me explain. So right now, what we are witnessing is the downfall of what America has always been. America is literally built on top of pain, misery, depression, lies. I could go on, you know? And it's also built on fake power structures, meaning a lot of slave owners and white people who are powerful way back in the day, 1700s, 1600s, 1800s. Back then, they set up this system to where even in 2025, they could still be at the top. Whole time, I'm pretty sure that their ancestors weren't thinking about the fact that things change, and that's the only constant in this world is change. So here we are, where people are finally starting to realize, like, you know what, other people do deserve some of the things y'all have always been getting, and now they're claiming it's discrimination. People aren't hiring white people. White people are getting the bare minimum. White people are being pushed to the back. Whole time, white people were always in the back. It's just the fact that we were put behind y'all to make it seem like y'all were at the front. Does that make sense? Y'all have never been at the top of anything. But now, since the structure that we already have is set up in your favor, now you want to make America great again because it's unlike what has always been. Like, are y'all following? So now what do people do when they're at the top and they're in jeopardy of falling to the bottom? They do whatever they can to stay at the top, meaning if they have to make people of color fight, if they have to take away SNAP, if they have to cause martial law in our states, they don't care. They just want to stay at the top because that's where they've been. And anyone else that wants to be at the top, it's not going to happen because they want and own the top. So in order for us as the people at the bottom and the people that they see as the bottom to get back to the top, everything that's of now in America has to be dismantled. It has to be. Everything is falling. And that's fine, actually. We need to rebuild it. It's all based on BS. So yeah, it's just a battle of fragile male egos, white supremacy, systemic racism, and yeah, people wanting things to stay the same when things are inherently made to change. So it's only a matter of time before things actually do change and the collective consciousness actually catches up to the reality of where we are. Happy November.
You know it's going to be shitty, really goddamned shitty, when this is all over and these people are imprisoned. And we, the American people, have to look at each other and say, yeah, we let this happen because of our greed, our complacency, our absolute addiction to entertainment. Letting go of values, morals, and scruples. We allowed a criminally corrupt government to come in under the leadership of a 34-count felon, a con man. We allowed all of it. Not only that, we were so goddamn lazy, we believed one vote every 4 years to a rigged duopoly. Left wing, right wing, same goddamn bird. Caged by Israel. We believed that would save us. We're going to have to look at each other and to the rest of the world and say, yeah, we did that. We're Americans.
Without wasting of time, I'll go into it. America is standing in this moment right now. Face the people you tried to destroy, or face the collapse of everything built on injustice. Choose one. You face the people you tried to destroy, or you face the collapse of everything built on injustice. Because God will always vindicate the oppressed. And Black America, your time is no longer coming. Your time is now. And America has no choice but to face it. Yeah, I'll stop here. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share these videos to people, and always come back for more of this, right? I'll see you on the next one. My name is Blessing on Global Juice with BJ. I love you all. Bye, guys.